could start off by talking a little bit about this other podcast that I understand you just started recently for moms in the area. Can you tell me a little bit more about the strategy behind this?
Yeah, it's funny. We a couple of years ago when we did a reader survey of about 1,200 readers, we found that our core group of really passionate readers fell within that 35 to 50, 55 range. Tended to be women. At that point, it was kind of like 6.5 out of 10 or so were women, and that's such a desirable market for advertisers. And we really felt like, from an advertising standpoint, we tried to play that up to potential clients. But we've also tried to tailor our content a little bit more to that target group. And we put a greater emphasis on the events that we were listing, because these are people who have kids and they want to go do things with their families. And so the last couple of years, that's really been a focus for us, that target group. This second podcast is called Monday Moms, and it just came about. I was having a conversation with one of our newer sales women, and she is a mom. She's about my age. She's got a few kids. She's been divorced, been remarried. She's been a community volunteer. She's done a lot of different things. And she thought, as we were talking, the idea just kind of occurred to both of us. Like, what if we did a podcast geared specifically toward moms? They're already our target audience. And she could host it and talk about a lot of these issues that are sort of ever present to moms and families and parents. And so we came up with probably 30 or 40 ideas to delve into. And this podcast is a weekly one, and it's really more of a traditional type podcast. The idea is that she'll have maybe 2 to 3 guests of 10 to 15 minutes apiece, talking about one broad topic, I guess. Maybe it'll be what to do for a girls' night out, how to find a great preschool for your kids, volunteering in your kids' school. I mean, any number of different topics. And so that was our idea. Now, we hatched this back, pre-COVID. I feel like you have to make that dividing line.
Yeah.
And it was really
BC and AAC.
Right. It was going very well. She had actually approached some hospitals, and like Publix grocery store chain was very interested in talking about selling sponsorships on this podcast. And she got a few commitments, and a few folks even paid before she had even done one episode, which was kind of remarkable to both of us. But what she was hearing was that, hey, there's really nothing like this out there in the community, specifically geared toward moms like this. And so the feedback was really good. Then, of course, this all happened, and we kind of took a little pause. She had done one episode. We had posted it. But now, of course, dollars are tight. So a lot of sponsorship opportunities kind of have to be put on hold. But we were talking, and she thought, she's been hearing, again, she's kind of a pretty active volunteer, and she's heard a lot of good stories that are coming out of this. And she said, what if I just, forget about trying to sell sponsorships for a period of time. Let's work on building up the listenership. And I'm just going to talk to people who have interesting or cool or positive stories that have come out of this whole pandemic. And so that was the episode that we posted the other day. She's since talked to a few other people with just neat little stories, community stories that fit that type of a format. It's a teacher that heard some encouraging words from a student of his, and things like that.
Right.
Nothing earth shattering, but it's kind of a feel good piece. And I think we've already seen some pretty good numbers on that, and hopefully when this all clears out, we'll have some numbers to go back to with sponsors to say, hey, people are listening.